それじゃあ消すよ。
And hello, and welcome back to Chaos Child. Last time, Kurosu decided to, you know, be a busybody. And I think play her hand a bit too soon. And I'm hoping the pace will pick up a little bit. Because, like, I like the story, the, like, personal drama element of the story, but less so than the other stuff. So it's this weird balance of, like, it's not like I don't like it, but I feel like the story could start moving forward a little bit, at least in this section of the last hour or two. It definitely feels like it's dragged a bit. So let's go.
思った以上に暗くなるね。
I don't remember what we're doing.
大丈夫か？
多分。じゃあみんなおやすみ。
Oh, we're sleeping here. In the same room. Oh, okay.
はいよ、おやすみ。
Miyashiro didn't get any sleep that night.
何も見えない。椅子どこ？あ、花ちゃん、蹴っちゃった。ごめん。そこが花ちゃんってことはこっちに。
Wait. Did you just aim for me? What was that? An elbow?
ごめん、しんちゃん。
You... No, that's not... Oh.
何が？
So you're aiming for shit. Because it's like, well, if you're there, then over here must be... Whoop. That means you're targeting me, damn it.
僕だ、僕。
Or him. Etc.
もうどこがどこだか。なんか落ちた。
もういい。電気。いや、カーテン開けろ、カーテン。
オッケー。いやー、小指、足の小指ぶつけた。
A dim light poured in from the outside. I could see the outlines of the room. Is that just a bunch of cardboard boxes on the ground? Is that what we're sleeping on?
ねえ、これでも寝られるよね。
こんなことなら、もう少し片付けておけばよかった。
It was almost a new day. Since everybody had been at a meeting early, I ended up staying at school after all. But since there were no beds, we had to sleep under our desk.
なあ、好きなやつとかいるの？
Ito wants girl talk.
ん？
Sort... Huh? Yeah, it is sort of random.
何？お前に聞いてねえよ。女子二人。
Oh, well, the guy I like... I don't know. Kawahara, maybe? You know, not necessarily like in a romantic way, but I really feel like he'd put a lot of passion into it. Where did this come from?
いいからよ。いるのか？尾上。
私？みんな好きだよ。
そういうんじゃなくて。いや、いい。和樹は？
Don't try to sleep and eat dried squid at the same time.
じゃあ、ファーストキスはいつだ？
まだだよ。しんちゃんはいつなの？
Backfiring.
まあいい。夜の学校にお泊まりというイベント、お前ら相手に期待した俺が愚かだった。
そうだ、忘れてた。目覚まし5時でいいよね。
She fiddled with her smartphone as she talked.
あれ、花ちゃん、どうしたの？
Was that voice Hana? I'd never heard her laugh before. Was that a laugh? I didn't get that out of that. What was that? Wait a second.
尾上の顔か？
なんで？変なの？私の顔。
The light from the phone screen lit up Erica's face in the darkness, like a horror movie. She must have been waving her hand because it would appear, then disappear, then reappear again.
どういうツボだよ。
I don't know, but I couldn't help but agree with him. Did she love horror? Or did she look like an enemy character in an MMO?
私の顔っておかしいの？
I don't get it in the slightest. Kazuki burst out laughing at Serica, as Serica moved closer to her. And it sounds like they're wrestling, but okay. What's so funny? What's so funny? Serica said as she moved closer. Then for some reason, they start to tickle each other.
仲がよろしいことで。
Yeah, that's the takeaway. A lot had happened today. They're all new experiences to me.
事件なんか追わなくても結構楽しいものでしょ？
Maybe I could.
タクル、もう事件なんか追わないって約束して帰ってきなさい。手伝ってほしいことたくさんあるの。
If I wanted to, I could go back to the orphanage and live the same life as everyone else. Could I? Ooh.
くちょくちょくちょくちょくちょ。
I was thinking positive, negative. Could I like choose the sort of reaction to that? Because I still think she did it too early, but now I think this is going to be about the tickling.
こら、逃げちゃダメ。
You know what? Here's my decision. I think he's too distracted by the like life-altering choice he's thinking about, and the like weird two girls tickling each other in their sleep thing going on. Hey, stop screwing around in sleep, girls. Why do girls like to touch each other so much? It's not like you guys are lovers. Stop it. Me and Ito are right next to you. We can tickle each other. Don't forget that.
Oh.
Ito took out his phone, and the LCD screen lit up.
どうした？
忘れてた。そろそろ0時だぞ。
あ、
Ito stood up and started to fiddle with the club's PC. Oh, right.
はい。2015年10月10日0時になりました。皆様、ようこそいらっしゃいませ。K さんと申します。
Alright, I forgot about this. I heard a familiar voice.
今日の夜は少し冷え込んでいますね。着実に秋が到来しているようです。いかがお過ごしでしょうか。さて、本日放送の機会を設けさせていただいたのは、聞いてくださっている皆様ならもうご存知ですね。本日10月10日は6年前にヴァンパイアと呼ばれた事件が起きた日付です。
She's right. I totally forgotten. Today was October 10th. So in Shibuya, probably in the next 24 hours, someone would. No. I just thought about this, right? I could live the same life as everyone else. So I could just forget about the case.
電話んだよ、こんなと。
Ida froze as he looked at the phone.
しんちゃん？
これまでの経緯をもう一度簡単に。
Kei's voice suddenly vanished. Idoken muted it. His hands were shaking a little.
おい、
やべえ。なんだ、これ。
From a phone caller ID?
何かだよ。
That reaction?
電話。お前からだ。
Oh! Great.
は？
It took me a minute to understand what he was saying. Then he showed me the screen.
だから、これ見ろ。
So they got in. Okay. The screen read, we'll let it go to voicemail. Miya, Shiro, Takuru.
なんだよ、これ。
Didn't you have it deactivated? Shouldn't they be unable to use it for calling? My phone was locked. No, wait, I called the company and had them shut off the account.
どうするんだよ、これ。なあ。
If you got some, like, pay card, I guess I don't know how it works in Japan, but could you do, like, something you buy at a convenience store, but still have the same number? If you technically shut off the data and all that sort of stuff still? I wouldn't think so, but I don't know how... I actually don't know too well exactly how that's set up. That's a specific thing that I think you need a bit more technical detail to understand. Should I ignore it? I promised Kurusu that I'd give up on the case. No, wait. It's not really the time for that. I also didn't promise anything. My mind raced, but I couldn't come up with an answer. The next thing I knew, I grabbed the phone from Ito and answered it. There was silence, as everyone held their breath and watched me. I put my ear up to the phone and heard. Nothing. All I could hear was the sound of my own heartbeat. At some point, my breathing had become shallow and pained. I leaned against the nearby desk just to give myself a means of support. The person on the other end of the phone said nothing. What did I do? What do I do? Damn it. What the hell was going on? Say something. Just say something, you idiot!
お前、誰だ？
My voice was shaking so much it was pathetic. Everyone was perfectly still as they watched. It was no good. I couldn't hear anything. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. Hang up, hang up, hang up. Hang up, hang up. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it now. Well, that feels like a threat. My little pet theory that the kill him thing was referring to the reporter, not me. I now am more against that possibility.
おい、どうした？
I dropped the phone and fell to my knees. Sarah had come over towards me. I grabbed her and held her tight. I was so scared. So scared. The knocking sound I'd heard when I was at the hotel. It's still going. Is that coming from within the school? I frantically rode the ear that I'd been holding up to the phone, but it wouldn't stop. It wouldn't go away. That sound. My chest is filled with foreboding. I snuck into the hospital and they'd stolen my phone. Didn't that count as something really bad? Well, it does connect them at the very least. Is that a...
9時半になりました。皆さん、よろしいでしょうか。それではこれより。
So if it was just in his mind at that point, was he just being really antsy about it? Or is that the implication that it's an ability that doesn't actually need a source? It's just easier to trick someone's mind if you give the impression of a source? That's why you could hear knocking on the other side even though no one was there?
第3回私立壁氷学園文化祭を開催いたします。
Tone whiplash, albeit on purpose, clearly. That was sort of a funny last one. All the students in the gym roared as soon as Kawahara finished. Cheerful music began to fill the room, and students in costumes, who probably belonged to some club or another, began to dance. Half of the students watched them and laughed as they left the gym. They're probably the students in charge of the classroom displays and stalls in the courtyard. Kazuki looked over me to see if I was okay.
まあ、大丈夫。
When I first heard that still, I noticed that it was still going. I was like, wait, has that like always been a part of this song? Because it sort of felt like it was a little bit within the rhythm, at least when I first noticed it, and then it sort of got off of it afterwards, I'd say. Even if it was a lie, it was all I could bring myself to say. I couldn't smile. Except for talents, Kazuki was asked to handle the audio system along with me for the student council's opening ceremony. Huh. So there's some focus in Takaru here, yeah? I think it's safe to say that whoever that girl is, and I'm gonna assume the guy is basically just a tag along, he's not... I feel like he's basically the equivalent of a puppet, even if he isn't a live person. I feel like that's... I have no reason to go against that at the moment, that thought. So that girl's probably connected to whatever is going on. We get in the impression that Arimura is part of the group. That would be doing that as well. We've been given the impression that the question that they want me to ask with regards to the photo in the interview is connected to Lab Coat Lady. I still don't remember her name. She's just Lab Coat to me. So she goes all lab coating and then proceeds to basically set all this up through Arimura, interestingly. So I wonder if more focus is being put on me because she is aware that I'm some semblance of notable to Lab Coat's plan. The rest of the student council, except for Kawahara, as well as Serika and Ito, should have left during the ceremony to patrol the school. Something can get busier when the school opened to the public at 10 a.m., about 30 minutes from now. And when that happened, people from outside the school would be allowed in, and many different events would be had. Sounds like the perfect opportunity for someone to die off to the side in some secluded corner. And I had to do my job too. But I couldn't bring myself to get out of the chair. Katsuki offered me a lollipop. Was this one from your mouth again?
あ、いや。
She thought for a moment, then took out a piece of dried squid from who knows where.
いや、そうじゃなくて。わかった。もらうよ。
I grabbed the lollipop and stood on. Katsuki stayed to handle the audio. She might have problems communicating, but There are other members of the student council, and she'd probably be fine.
ありがとな。
Well, thank you for the, thought.
自主映画特別棟2階視聴覚室でやってます。100円です。パンフレットタダで配布してます。
It's not such a horrible idea in its own right, too. I mean, take a lollipop. It's not it helps you focus if you're in the same... It depends on the person, obviously, but in my experience, there is some stuff like when I'm idling, I'll get like, it has to do with my job. They're basically caps that go on some hardware that we have, that we occasionally just get more of, and they're used for packaging and stuff like that. I'll get them and I'll put them in like this thing where I can like sort of fiddle with them, like a fidget spinner. So they do help you. Little things like that can help you focus, basically. Like just sucking on a lollipop, that sort of thing.
9時半から屋上のテニスコートでコメディテニスします。熱くなれよ。
And I'm not saying focusing would necessarily help him at this point, but it can't hurt, basically. I ignored the advertisements and headed to my destination. After that, Ito had picked up the smartphone and called the number back, but no one had picked up. So, there's only the message that played when you shut off your service. The customer has requested that this number be temporarily disabled. We talked for a while, but none of us had any good ideas. By 3 a.m., we'd settled on participating in the culture festival like normal, and laid down on our desk to get some sleep. But I couldn't sleep, I was too nervous. Well, if you really, really want to stay safe, stick around with other people that you know and trust. Be in crowds. We've already seen at least one of the people die in their own home, so like going and secluding yourself wouldn't be a good idea. So just do your normal effort throughout the day and try to make sure that you're around a crowd if you're worried about something coming for you. In the end, I didn't get a wink of sleep. I was only half awake for the opening ceremony and final check for the class's video. In the morning, I passed Arima in the hallway. She had a smile on her face that she wore when she was with her friends. It only made me more nervous. And I'm still nervous right now. I didn't yawn. Even once.
Oh.
I could see Serica patrolling the stalls near the gate, through the open doors of the school. Come to think of it, she said she hadn't slept well either. Someone with her appetite was ignoring all the tasty treats for sale at the food stalls. She must have been telling the truth. Serica had made contact with them at the hospital too. Are they able to call when I shut off my phone? Well, the reason I think it wouldn't work is because, like, when you try to call the number, you get that message, right? That's a routing thing, right? Like, they know whoever they route it through in terms of carrier. The fact that you get that message implies that, yeah? No, I should stop thinking about it. I asked myself all these questions already. Why had they called Ito? How were they able to? Was there a reason they called right after the start of the day of the new generation madness, his most recent case? Should I go to the police? Would they even believe me? And I hadn't come with the answers to any of these questions. I could hear loud murmurs in the distance.
Oi, 裏門の方、渡部来てるらしいぜ。
マジかよ。行ってみようぜ。
I wonder if it would give me some semblance of choice in if I actually ask him the question or not. This interview is what we feel like we're building up to, so he was early. The meeting was supposed to be at 1 p.m. Oh, wait. He was going to do an article on the Culture Festival itself, right?
Baku, 行かないの?
No. At some point, Serica had walked up behind me. Was she on patrol?
どうせ後で会うんだし、別にいいよ。
And suddenly she got very close to me.
元 気が足りないな。もしかしてまだ昨日のあれ気にしてる？
そりゃそうだろ。
I'd be crazy to not be thinking about it.
というか、お前だってさっきまで暗い顔してたじゃないか。
When I'd seen her just a second ago, she looked really glum. But for some reason, she looked better now. She looked surprised that I'd seen her, and then...
それはそうだけど、でもさ、だったら何かが起きる前に私たちが解決すればいいじゃんって。
Well, a little easier said than done, but okay. I get your point.
5人で仲良く真実を追求し解決するのが新聞部のモットーでしょ？
I never heard that motto before.
タクならできるって。
After giving me a completely baseless motivational speech, she went back to her patrol.
タクならできるってか。
タクル、もう事件なんか追わないって約束して帰ってきなさい。手伝ってほしいことたくさんあるの。
For now, I need to get through this interview. First, there's a video to talk about, then. The sumo sticker with a different face. Do I have to? Do I have to bring it up? It'd be great if I could ask Watabe about that. Well, what that meant, too. I took a deep breath and started to go over the interview in my head.
来ないね。渡部さん、どうしちゃったのかな。
Oh, he might be dead before the interview, actually. Especially if Lab Coat Lady wants the answer from him. If they're going to target him at all, if that's even a possibility, then they might target him before everything happens. So, if I vaguely remember the previous New Generation Madness cases correctly, there were at least one of them looked like it was multiple people that died, right? Meaning that this isn't something where they would jeopardize the idea of this being a match to the previous incidents that people are chasing. Because again, I half feel like this might be a purposeful red herring that they're trying to lead people about on. So if they're trying to match that in some way, whether it's intentional or red herring or whatever, the idea of killing multiple people, like say everyone in the middle of an interview, wouldn't exactly be out of the realm of possibility? Let's say that. It was already 1:15. The interview was supposed to start at 1. Everyone had heard that Watabe, the famous journalist, was going to be here. The audience seats in the gym were packed. There were even people standing. Oh, this is a public... Oh, okay. Okay, this is an event. I thought we were just going to, go to the newspapers club room and he's going to, film it. Everyone in the newspaper club except Kurusu had arrived, and we were waiting below the stage. All the preparations were complete. There's no sign of Watabe himself.
控え室にはいたんだろう。
ああ、1時間くらい前かな。挨拶してきた。
何やってんだ？緊張してトイレか？
それは僕だ。
Oh, that would be... You get a horror game about murders. Just imagine that. Someone's missing, you're like, oh my goodness, are they dead? Are they dead? And you just go on a wild goose chase and eventually you find them and you just figure it out. They have massive diarrhea and they've just been on the shitter for forever. Sorry to worry you, but I'm a little preoccupied.
Huh?
That actually would be pretty good.
ここだけの話、さっきからトイレばっかり行ってる。やっぱり僕には無理だ。こんな大勢の前で対談なんて。
今さらなんだよ、お前。
Sure, but I couldn't help but feel nervous. I wasn't good at dealing with crowds or people I didn't know. But now I was going to have to deal with both. Take the hint.
よし、伊藤、部長の座を譲る。お前が仕切ってくれ。
アホか。
Ito laughed away an offer that I made in all seriousness. He stood up from his chair.
それにしても遅えな。みんな待ちくたびれてるじゃん。生徒会は何してんだ？
are the student council members not here too? Oh, that's even more promising. Watabe was supposed to be getting the VIP treatment, and it was the student council's job to take care of him. But with Kurisu gone, they probably were having a hard time keeping up with all their work. From what I heard, without Kurisu there to keep the peace, fights and arguments were breaking out everywhere. And that only went to show how much everyone relied on her.
仕方ねえな。ちょっと呼んできてやるか。
Well, you might want to go with someone. Well, it might not necessarily say that everyone relied on her. It might more say that she built up a reputation that was specific to her over time, and that falls apart without her there to enforce it. Rather than the student council being the thing that is intimidating enough to quell conflicts as they arise, she is.
しんちゃん待って、私も行くよ。
Good idea! Don't die.
おい。
Don't leave me and Kazuki here alone! Neither of us are capable of talking to anyone. What if Watabe came while they were gone? What would we do then? We could call them with our non-existent phone. Kazuki, you probably have a phone, right? You could text them saying that he's here and they could rush back. But Zach and Ito went off to the waiting room without us. This was a problem.
あれれ、まだ始まってないんすね。
Yeah. Are you gonna come in with a shit-eating grin? Because if you are, then I totally believe that you are purposely part of a group trying to kill him. That would be my conclusion.
先輩、チャオっす。
Yeah, are you happy? Putting on an act? No, let's get to the point where you lower the guard a little bit, okay? Oh, it's just Arimura. Come to think of it, she asked me to ask Watabe about that picture.
ずいぶん遅いですね。
はい。今、迎えに行ってるけど。
ほーん。
そうだ、有村さん。聞こうと思ってたんですけど。
なんすか？
画像のことについて、渡部さんを追求してほしいんですよね。その画像って、ラブホテルの力士シールのことでしょ。それには僕たちも興味を持ってるんですけど、有村さんはどこまで知ってるんですか？あれのこと。
Those are a lot of words for someone. For you to say to someone. Good job, Takuru. That did catch her a little off guard. Arimura looked serious for just a moment, but then she grinned.
情報量は高くつくぜ、あんちゃんよ。
Okay, what's the cost then? Seriously.
お金取るんですか？
当たり前よ。キャッシュで5000万、スイス銀行に振り込んでくんな。
Fantastic. I'll get it to you tomorrow. 50 million in Monopoly cash. Right away.
小学生みたいなこと言ってないで、本気で教えてください。渡部さんにはうまく質問しますから。だから僕らにも情報を。
ねえ先輩。
はい。
何度も言ってますけど、私に敬語はいりませんよ。改めてくれるまでずっと言い続けますからね。
はい。
She changed the subject. Arimura was incredibly interested in Watabe's picture of the Sumo sticker, but she didn't want to talk about it, almost like someone else is the one that's actually interested. Did she think that if I questioned him about it, she might be able to gain some valuable information? I consider this as I watched her twin tails bounce in the air. And then suddenly, the curtain on the stage began to rise. I could start to see the bottom of the lectern and the chairs.
ねえ、始まっちゃいますよ。伊藤先輩たちは？
Perfect. There's no message from the student council. We had no idea what to do as we watched the curtain rise and unveil a dead body.
やっとかよおい。
遅えよ渡部。
渡部さ
As the curtain rose, the gym was filled with cheers and boos of the students. All this feels like it's leading up to a death reveal.
人、おのえ、何してんだよ。早く戻ってこいって。
あれ
She seems genuinely surprised. Suddenly, Arimura spoke.
え、どうしたの？
見てください。なんか変です。
Well, she pointed to the stage. I looked up towards it.
Huh?
Uh-oh. Watabe had come up the stairs backstage and was walking towards the podium. Oh, he's not even dead yet. Oh, this is gonna be bad. But he was staggering, struggling to stay up, and he looked like he was in pain. There's thick sweat on his forehead, and something that looked like drool was dripping down from his lips. But what was even stranger was his stomach. How to describe it? The spot between his ribs and his hips, right where his stomach and intestines would be, was all swollen up. You heard the word beer belly a lot, but it was worse than that. It was as if someone had stuck a giant rubber ball under his shirt. Yeah, it's way too high to be a belly. Like, that height on a person would break a bunch of ribs with that sort of expansion, wouldn't it? The students saw this and started to whisper. The voices grew louder. Their voices grew louder and louder. His moans grew louder as he reached the center of the stage. Just listening to them was enough to make you go crazy. Oh my. What could it be? What? Because the other three made sense physically, right? It was sort of immediately apparent what was happening. At least once the, from their perspective, delusions went away, right? Huh.
なんですかあれ。なんですか
I don't know, the more I hear her, the less sincere it sounds to me. It sounds slowly more and more like it might be staged. I don't know. I just don't know when to trust her. That's the biggest thing about her.
わからない。
The whole team, including the three of us, starts to get louder. The student screams echoed in my ears. Some people were trampled in the mad dash for the exits. But as everyone else was panicking, Arimura and I stood there in silent shock.
あれは
Something was pouring out of Watabe's mouth, mixed with his blood and stomach fluids. It had a face. Of course! It wasn't Watabe's face. It was something we'd seen many times before. What was it? I knew it well, but it took me a few seconds to understand. And then... Oh, that's nasty.
力士シール。
Oh, that's fucking nasty. Oh, I guess the location of the bulging makes sense if it was literally his stomach that was expanding. Or not expanding, as it already ripped, maybe. Oh. Because people have beer bellies, but that's not the actual stomach gutting out. Oh. So he's dead, I presume. If it's enough to create that much of a bulge, that would be intense internal. Fucking... Oh my goodness. 1228 in unused classroom in Hekiho Academy. Oh, this is earlier. Great!
何もないところですいませんが、ここでお待ちいただけま
I
す
am
か。
still suspicious as... something about how he was originally introduced. I'm still suspicious as hell of him. Maybe it's completely baseless, but him suddenly showing up in this flashback to the what really happened sort of thing. Oh no.
いえ、早く来てしまったのはこちらですから。
Watabe bowed, and the man who had led him here from the teacher's office bowed back. The man left the room. He forgot the man's name as soon as he heard it. All he remembered was that he was a typical high school teacher, with somewhat delicate features. It was all Watabe thought he needed to know.
しかし、なんでもねえところだな。
He'd heard that Ekio was famous, but once he got inside, he'd found that it was just a normal high school. Maybe a little cleaner than most. He'd seen a TV crew from some station interviewing a student on his way here, but he couldn't imagine there was anything worth asking one.
まあ、多少は見どころのある奴らもいるみたいだが。
Yeah, the Garo Froggy display, of course. Since his ostensible research for being here was to do an article on the Culture Festival, he had to take a few pictures. Since it didn't matter what the pictures he took were, he decided to just walk through the school. And he went by a class that was doing some kind of Garo Froggy cafe, and there was a bit of a fuss. Student after student had asked him for handshakes and autographs. Almost the entire class had known his name. He'd even taken a selfie with a girl who said she was a huge fan of his. When he told her to keep it a secret, she'd given him an innocent smile. That was the way it should be. That was the way normal people were supposed to act.
もっと上に行ってやれ。
It's only a short while ago that an online friend of his had suggested he come here. When he'd been putting together what he found out about the sumo stickers, those fucking brats at the newspaper club here had published just before he did. He'd given up on publishing his own article, but at least decided to show it to someone. When he let his friends see it, they suggested to publish it anyways. True, he was confident in the article itself. He got in a very good picture of the sumo sticker at the Love Hotel, which the newspaper club had only been able to get from a distance. Friend online. How much do you want to bet that's lab coat? There's a chance he'd be called out for plagiarism, but then his friend had continued. You're capable of turning that to your advantage, right? His friend knew him well.
所詮は高校生の一部活だ。
The fact that they're avoiding pronouns for the friends makes me feel as though, yeah, it's a character we know of, so it's one of the many, but lab coat seems the most obvious choice there. Especially since she said before that she basically provided the information to someone that made it sound like she gave the Watabe the information, basically, to kickstart his process at the very least. Everything would depend on how he handled the interview. Watabe was confident that he could use this to bolster his fame. The ideal result would be to show that the newspaper club were the ones who had copied him. Oh. They uploaded their newspaper and you knew all the time, so they were sure to know who he was. If you offered them a chance to help with his articles, they'd jump on it no matter what demands he made. Oh, no. That's a wrong conclusion. He started off at the very bottom and he worked his way up this far. He was capable of getting any scoop he wanted. His power was a blessing from the heavens for a man who wanted to be a first-rate journalist. In the whole history of journalism, there had never been a case where a net reporter identified a suspect ahead of the cops, the news, or the magazines. When a writer at a weekly magazine had found a suspect before the police, the whole Japan went into an uproar. Watabe wanted to surpass that.
あとは警察へのコネがあれば完璧だな。
His one worry was the Love Hotel incident. When he charged into the crime scene and got into a fight with the cops there, his camera had gone out of focus and he failed to get part of the sumo sticker. Haha, I knew it! He'd use that to get the scoop, but if someone on the police force was paying attention to those stickers, and if they were enough of a weirdo to be paying careful attention to Watabe's articles, they might find something strange.
まあ、大して違ってはいないだろうからな。
So he wasn't even aware that... Oh, so he was even aware that it was different. Okay. Just too lazy to find one that was the same? Or maybe they are that rare relatively. Huh. Well, that said, wasn't He could have just printed out a version himself, couldn't he? In the same way that Taku did and put on his trailer wall, right? They wanted lies that sounded true, embellished so that they were all the more pleasing. Ooh. When he heard the sound, he quickly flipped himself back into hard-working, good-natured reporter mode.
はい、どうぞ。どうぞ。
They didn't open the door, nor did they say anything. Tubby grunted, soft enough that they couldn't hear, then put on a smile as he went to answer the door. Oh no.
なんですかあれ何なんですか
They didn't provide any of the useful information, damn it! He didn't seem to be out of his mind before he opened the door, though.
わからない。
Yay! This is not going to be the thumbnail. The students all started to panic at once, and the gym was filled with screams. Watabe's body fell to the floor as if in slow motion. His legs were splayed. His eyes were open wide, still full of the terror of death. He was weeping, tears of blood. And...
あれは
そんな
力士シール
Yeah. It was a huge pile of sumo stickers. Watabe was probably already dead. But there were still crumpled sumo stickers pouring out of his mouth. My heart was racing. Beads of cold sweat had formed on my back. I wonder if we missed anything interesting by not listening all of that broadcast by Kay. I've had a scream welling up in my throat, but something held it back.
警察電話
I wonder if we were called specifically to distract us from that. Huh. It feels like we have two sides playing games with us, basically, trying to get us to do certain things, because we have some semblance of either usefulness or focus of what's going on. Maybe they realize we're the protagonists. Oh, wait, sorry, what did you say? The police, my phone. Okay, fantastic. Watabe's eyes were motionless, pointing towards nothing in particular. Wants to look away from this madness, but I couldn't.
警察って何番そうだ117
No, wait, the police were... I have no idea. Not in Japan. Wait, what was it? Maybe it was 119?
おい
That sounds like... When we heard the voice, we were finally able to tear our eyes away from Watabe's body. There was a female student making her way towards us, past the crowds fleeing towards the exits. Female student? No, she felt too grown up for that. And while she was wearing a white lab coat, between that, the sharp look in her eyes, part of me thought that she might be a coroner.
一体何があった
She slowly looked around the gym, and her gaze stopped at Watabe's body.
あれは
And then, without moving an eyebrow, she said,
やったのはお前たちか
who are you talking to? Who's you? Chapter 4 was Delusory Origin of the Tales... What was it, other side?
なるほどな。じゃあ被害者渡部さんは 時間になっても体育館に現れなかったと。
Fantastic. We gotta go talk to the student council? Is Kawahara the real villain in the end? It's all Kawahara's fault, obviously. They're supposed to be doing something with him, right? Well, again, I guess, what's his face, the teacher, who I don't remember the name of either. I'm so much better than the journalist there. Oh my. Again, suspicious of him. Where did he even get the sumo stickers? Someone had to have brought them, right?
はい。
そこで宮代くんと和樹さん、それから有村さんが待っていたところ、彼がいきなり舞台に上がってきて、そこで事件は起きた。間違いないね。
That's the thing. That's the thing about it. Each one we've seen has some semblance of crazy supernatural things affecting their behavior, but it's still realistic ways to die. As in, he didn't teleport the stickers into his stomach or something like that.
はい。
After that, things happen fast. Oh, this is a school in a town that has a bunch of surveillance. What are the chances the school doesn't have a bunch of surveillance? Could we see someone bringing in a bunch of sumo stickers? The black-haired woman called Detective Shinjo, who contacted the police station. Since our club was supposed to have an interview with him, we were questioned in our club room. During the questioning, we could hear students yelling outside and the sound of dozens of patrol car sirens, but soon it all faded back into silence. The police had probably sealed off the whole school. There had been no announcement about what was going to happen with the culture festival. But after what had happened, there's no way it wouldn't be shut down.
で、伊藤くんと尾上さんは事件の前に渡部さんの控え室へ行ったんだよね。渡部さんとは会わなかったのかい？
Did you see anything left over? Like sumo stickers, like a big pile of them? If someone brought in a bunch of sumo stickers, he probably didn't eat 100% of them, right? Oh my goodness. Imagine if he did. They were, like, fully formed, too, so it's... Sorry. Just thinking about it made me a little sick to the stomach. Ah. It's not like he cut them up. Not like he cut them up to make them go down easier. Oh, God. Oh. There's gonna be more nasty shit like that, isn't there? I'm not totally against it, but I'm not exactly a big proponent of seeing nasty shit regardless of the circumstances. I know it's meant to set its own and stuff like that, but still. Huh? Am I suspect? That's what Ito must have thought, because he suddenly started acting strange.
でも控え室には誰もいなかったんすな、尾上。部屋
は空っぽでした。
生徒会の役員は渡部さんの世話をしてたはずだろ。
それもいなかったです。
Who's supposed to be taking care of him? Why aren't they here to be interviewed too? Sarika must have been surprised by the sudden question, because she started to fiddle with her Garo Froggy cell phone strap.
おいお前。不愉快な音を立てるな。うるさい。
Well, I guess someone said it. A little rude, though.
ごめんなさい。
She must have only realized that she was doing it, because she quickly took her hand away from the strap.
尾上、落ち着け。誰もお前を疑ったりしないって。
有村さん、二人の言ってることは本当かな？
ええ、嘘じゃないですね。本当に誰もいなかったみたいですよ。
Ha! Oh my goodness, are we gonna get like blatantly told that that's her power? Oh my goodness, more and more evidence of me being right about that at least. There's no doubt in her voice. From the look on her face, you think she knew the whole story. And for some reason, Shinjo seemed to believe her.
そうか、了解だ。
He'd believe every word Arimura had said during the entire questioning. It was kind of strange. Do the two of them trust each other that much?
一応聞いておくが、有村さん。君は体育館に行く前は何をしていたんだ？
何言ってるんですか？直前まであなたたちと一緒にいたはずですけど。もしかして忘れてます？もしそうなら脳の精密検査を受けることをおすすめしますけど。
いや、もちろん分かっているさ。ただ念のためというやつで。
No, you don't. That seems more like it was meant for us, the player. Shinjo scratched his head, as if he didn't know how to respond. I take that back. There clearly wasn't any trust between the two of them. In fact, he didn't seem to know how to handle her. Then why would he trust what she said? I have no reason to deviate from my previous theory, basically. Something felt strange. And there's one more thing. Arimura had said that she was with Shinjo until right before she came to the gym. There had been barely any time between Watabe's appearance on the stage and Shinjo's arrival. So what had Shinjo been doing at the Culture Festival?
まさか最初から何かが起こると予想してた？
No, I think they wanted an answer as... Well, the fact that Labcoat had basically set up the situation for us to ask that question, and it doesn't look like the interview was something that he was going to tape and put online as part of his Nico Neo stuff. It sounded like it was meant to be a public, like, with an audience appearance interview sort of thing. My guess is that they came in person to see that, basically. And then he got in touch with Arimura ahead of time.
状況から考えると、君たちが彼の死に関与していることはなさそうだ。しかし、そうなると誰が？
Then who would you think we had motivation? Oh boy. Who killed Watabe and how?
渡部さんが舞台に上がってきたとき、怪しい人を見たりしていないか？
はい。誰も。
Yeah, there's an entire curtain. Where did the sumo stickers come from? That's the question we should be asking.
君はどうだ？
The black-haired girl had been leaning against the wall with her arms crossed. She looked up.
残念ながら私が駆けつけた時現場はパニック状態だったからな。
Her voice was as mature and calm as her appearance. She's also still wearing the school uniform. Are we going to get an explanation on that specifically? She's probably a third-year student, but I'd never seen her around the school before. Maybe the white lab coat was because she was part of biology club or the science club? But what would a student be doing here with a detective?
まったく面倒なことだ。お前たちが犯人だったら簡単に済んでよかったんだが。
Oh, were you trying to assume we were the killers and out us as it?
それどういう意味です？
Did you like hope we were the killers? Is that what your goal in all this setup was?
どうもこうもそのままの意味だ。
私からすればあなたの方が怪しいですけど。
私は犯人じゃない。ほらどうだ、私が嘘をついているかどうかお前が一番よく分かっているはずだが。
Indeed. Hey, so were you not referring to us as in the newspaper club, but rather Arimura's group? Maybe? Arimura was clearly annoyed. But the black-haired girl didn't seem to care in the slightest.
まあまあ、久野里さん。それくらいにしといてくれ。
I'm actually at a point that I don't think I'm going to learn her name. I'm just going to call her Labcoat for the rest of the game. Her name was Labcoat then. Evidently she knew Arimura, but it was clear from the conversation that the two of them didn't get along. And for some reason...
おい、お前。
はい、僕ですか。
他に誰がいる？
それは。
さっきから何をジロジロ見ている？
いえ、別に。
だったら下でも向いていろ。鬱陶しい。
I didn't know why, but Lab Coat seemed to have it out for me, not just Arimura.
一体何なんだ
I think she has it out for everyone at this point. What did I do? Never even met this girl before. Why would she act like this?
っていや待てよ
Or was I wrong and we'd actually met somewhere before? Did I do something to tick her off then? That's no good. Tried to remember but couldn't. Strangely.
彼女の声
No, I was wondering if the process of him looking away from her face and only listening to her voice would result in him starting to recognize the voice. Felt like I heard that voice somewhere before. But where?
ダメだこういう時に限って思い出せない
It was really bugging me. There's nothing so useless as information that was inside you, but you couldn't retrieve when you needed it. Information was only valuable if you'd use it.
とにかくもう一度確認させてくれ。君たちは舞台の下で対談を待っていた。だがいくら待っても渡部さんは現れず、伊藤君と尾上さんが様子を見に行った。その後しばらくして突然渡部さんが舞台に上がってきて、そこで倒れた。間違いないね。
はい
A thought. If whoever can do this can put people into a state that they're capable of thinking, say, cutting their arm is like cutting... they think they're cutting cheese when they're really cutting their arm off. Couldn't they do that to an assailant, too? Like, have someone else kill someone and have both of them under that influence to set something up or bring something somewhere? Why does it have to be... Does it have to result in death? Or is it too dangerous to do that? Because if the person isn't dying, then they're going to realize something's up after the fact or something like that. I suddenly remember the way Watabe had looked. His eyes were out of focus but full of terror. He was weeping tears of blood. His hand was stretched out as if seeking help. And the Suma stickers poured out of his mouth covered in blood and vomit. It was a bizarre scene. I looked over at Arimura, and she must have remembered it too because she was wincing.
両目から出血。口からは異物を嘔吐か。吐き出したのは力士シールと呼ばれる妙なシールだったな。検視は進んでいるのか、新庄さん。解剖はいつ行われる？
子供たちの前でそこまでは。
子供たちの前か。
Kunosada... Sorry. No, sorry, said it wrong. Lab Coat snorted, annoyed.
まあとにかく君たち新聞部には全員ちゃんとアリバイがある。心配しなくていいからな。
Children. I assume just because she's probably in our age range rather than... Probably not our age. I think she's a few years older based on what they said before, right? I'm guessing because she's in our age range and might have been dealing with the stuff beforehand that she's like, I've dealt with that long before their age or something like that. Children. I don't know. That would be my guess as to that reaction. I breathed a sigh of relief. Even if I knew I was innocent, I'd still be terrified of being arrested anyway.
ただ君と有村君、それと和樹君は事件を間近で見た目撃者だ。申し訳ないが、所轄の担当者が資料を作るのに協力してほしいと言ってる。
はい。やだって言ってもどうせ連れてくんですよね。
いや、別に君たちは被疑者じゃないから、あくまでも協力をだね。
この前もそんなこと言ってましたけど。
しかし、なんだろうな、君たちは。
Shinjo brushed his hand against his bangs. He hadn't cut his hair for a while, it seems.
え何がです？
前回の柿田さんの事件といい、先日の彼女、クルス・ノノさんの死傷事件といい、ここのところ怪しい事件といえば必ず君たちが関わっている。これは偶然なんだろうか。
それは。
It is interesting that it does seem to always be us. It is past the point of it being coincidence. I mean, it does seem like people are focusing on us. He was right. Even ignoring what happened to Kurusu, this was another potential homicide, like revolving dead. But we were just innocent bystanders. I knew that better than anyone.
僕たちは本当にたまたま。
たまたま？
Lapcoat interrupted me.
本当にたまたまなのか？お前たちが気づいていないだけで何かある可能性は？事件を呼び寄せるような何かが。
True. I tried to say something back to her, but couldn't. It was a vague enough statement that no one could really, counter that without knowing the situation, exactly what's going on, so... Her eyes were that cold when she looked at me. Damn it. What was with this girl? I was starting to get angry, and that was enough to get me to open my mouth.
僕、あなたに何か。
なんだ？
But I regretted it immediately. She is scary.
その。
言いたいことがあるならはっきり言え。時間の無駄だ。
じゃあ聞かせてもらいます。けど僕あなたに何かしましたか？
ああ？
なんだかすごく嫌われてるような。いや、僕の気のせいだったらすみません。
気にしない方がいいですよ、先輩。この人は誰に対してもこんな感じですから。
To everyone. Was that true? It was okay then.
誰に対してもというのは違うな。お前たちに対してだけだ。
You people.
お前たち？
ああ、そうだ。お前たちだ。
She's saying like people with supernatural powers? Because I'm guessing Mr. MC here probably is going to have that in some capacity, considering the fact that that's a big focus of everything. Does she mean me and Arimura? Or...
もしかして以前どこかで。
いや、お前のその新規臭い顔を見るのは初めてだ。
Thanks. Damn it. Then why did she have to be such a bitch? Oh, we're going there, okay.
とにかく手口から見て今回の事件もこれまでの猟奇事件との関連性が疑われる。
ニュージェネの狂気の再来すか？
The strange way that Watabe had died, and then the fact that today was October 10th. Just like Shin just said, it was possible that there was a connection.
ああ、司法解剖の結果を待たなければ断定はできないが、日付と犯行の異常性は一致する。ところで、宮代君、聞いてもいいか？
はい、何でしょうか？
あのボードは君たちが？
Oh, we hadn't taken it down. Shinji was looking at the map we'd put together to follow the case.
はい、そうですけど。
ちょっと見せてもらってもいいかな？
She just stood up without waiting for my answer and walked over to the board. Hinasada moved away from the wall and followed him.
これ、どう思う？
そうだな。
The two of them started to whisper to each other. I tried to listen in, but I couldn't make it out. With nothing else to do, I whispered to Arimura.
久野里って人、うちの生徒なのか？
For some reason, Arimura was staring at me in surprise.
僕、何か変なこと言った？
いえ、先輩がタメ口だったから。
Oh, okay. No, okay. I must have been so distracted by everything else that was going on that I didn't think.
ごめんなさい、つい。
いえ、そのままでいいです。私は前からそうしてくれと言ってましたし。
わかりまし、じゃなくて、わかったよ、有村さん。
有村。
え？
さんもつけなくていいです。
わかった。有村。
For First, the two of us had been together at the scene of Watabe's death, and now we had that strange, arrogant woman angry at us. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Maybe that's why I was finally able to talk to her normally.
それで、何の話でしたっけ？
あ、だからあの人。
Two of them were still talking about something in front of the map I'd made.
知らないんですか？先輩と同じ3年生だそうですよ。と言っても、ほとんど学校に来たことないらしいですけど。
Okay. I thought that had said something. I thought someone had said something in some capacity that made her slightly older than high school age. I could be wrong.
学校に来ないって、不登校ってこと？
さあ、私もそこまでは。
So, she was in my brain. But I'm sure I'd never seen her at school. Right, because you pay so much attention to all the people at school, right? Ito and Kurusu had a lot of connections. Would they know her?
っていうか、そもそも何者なんだ？僕たちのこと嫌ってるみたいだけど。
さあ。
さあって、知り合いなんだろ？
私も、この前会ったばかりで詳しいことは知りません。ただ。
Our conversation was cut off by a sudden sound of a phone, which makes for a fairly decent place to end it because that means I get to cut it off. And I'm over time anyways, so... Very, 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 very interesting, and I'm not going to keep this outro too long because this is going to get annoying. So, I guess we'll continue on with the interview here, and continue on from that. So, I'll see y'all next time. Drive safely, everyone.